Riya Rajkumar's birthday turned into a nightmare when her own father ended her life in his home in Brampton, Canada. The 11-year-old, whose life was filled with dreams and love, was cut short by a devastating act of violence, possibly driven by a desire for revenge against her mother. As the pieces of this gripping story come together, it sheds light on the dark reality of domestic abuse and the devastating toll it takes on innocent lives. Prepare yourself to be deeply moved and astonished as we explore the heart-wrenching and tragic story of Riya Rajkumar. Riya Sophia Rajkumar was born on February 14, 2008, and was the only child to Priya Ramdin and Rupesh Rajkumar. She was a student at Meadowvale Village Public School and was a well-liked, brilliant, and successful student. She was a dreamer and had always wanted to become a doctor, drive a Lamborghini, and one day own a mansion. At the time of Riya's death, her parents had already been living separate lives for over 2 tumultuous years, with their relationship being filled with instability and emotional abuse. Riya's father's behavior was nothing short of mentally abusive, a dark side that haunted her mother's memories. Recalling disturbing incidents, threats of violence, being spat on, and even being run over on her foot with a car, Riya's mother couldn't bear to involve the police as she was swayed by the empty promises that he'd change. The pattern of abuse dated back to Riya's infancy, when her father's aggressive actions led to a police encounter, though he evaded conviction. Despite the troubling signs, Riya's mother held on to hope, yearning for her husband to be part of their daughter's life. But as Riya matured, her innocent wisdom shocked her mother into realizing the dangerous example being set for her. At just 8 years old, Riya made a solemn declaration never to tolerate such mistreatment from anyone, especially not from a man. This was after Riya was picked up after a visit to her father, who was upset and cursing at her mother. Her mother knew she had to protect her daughter from this toxic cycle. Riya's mother expressed with a heavy heart that her 8-year-old had told her that she should know better. She further shared that she never wanted Riya to grow up thinking that that was the way a man should treat her. Riya's mother decided to start afresh by moving to a new place and finding a job, which also meant a change of schools for Riya. On that fateful Valentine's Day in 2019, Riya's father had no idea where they lived or worked, but he persisted in sending messages seeking reconciliation and promising to change. She and her husband never sought a custody agreement through the court, and she never asked for child support, and although she refused to reconcile with him, she still wanted Riya to have a relationship with her father despite their differences. On Riya's last birthday, her father called on short notice, pleading to see her. Riya's mother agreed and took her to a gas station in Mississauga for the quick visit. Her mother, who shared a birthday with Riya, spent the morning together celebrating the special day by getting their nails done. Riya also had her hair curled as usual and was wearing a pink dress with sparkly hearts. Their hearts were filled with excitement for the evening's birthday dinner later at Moxie's, which was Riya's favorite restaurant after the short afternoon visit to her father. Little did they know that this joyful day would end in tragedy, and Riya would never return home. As Riya's mother sat fully engrossed in the television, she received an unexpected call from her ex-husband around 5:25 p.m., just 2 hours after he had picked Riya. Anticipating a routine drop-off at the gas station, she never expected the chilling words he uttered: "You'll never see Riya again. Me and Riya are going to my dad." Her heart sank and a sense of foreboding filled the air at the mention of his father, who had passed away 3 years earlier. As Riya's mother listened to his words, a chilling silence enveloped the call. There was an eerie stillness in his voice, and even the background seemed to hush into an unsettling void. A creeping sense of dread washed over her, accompanied by a gut feeling that something was terribly amiss. She pleaded to speak to Riya, but he coldly refused, uttering yet again, "No, you'll never see her again." The ominous words echoed in her mind, sending shivers down her spine as a sense of impending horror consumed her. Frantically, she rushed to a nearby police training facility, mistaking it for a station, and shared the terrifying call with a security guard and someone she believed to be a police officer. The officer gave her the address for a nearby police station, but despite the urgency at the moment, nobody had even suggested calling the police first. Overwhelmed with panic, she also couldn't bring herself to dial 911 in that moment, and all she could do was grabbing the keys and race to the destination as fast as she could. In the state of utter despair, she sped towards the unknown, desperate to find her daughter. As the clock struck around 6:05 p.m., Riya's mother arrived at the police station. An officer was dispatched to Riya's father's home in Brampton and made a distressing call back to her, revealing that no one answered the door and her husband's car was nowhere to be seen. Panic clouded her thoughts, and she couldn't find the right questions to ask in that moment. She later on couldn't fathom why they didn't break down the door when a child's life could be in danger. Hours crawled by, and finally the police breached the door after issuing an Ontario-wide Amber Alert. An Amber Alert is a voluntary cooperative program and warning system that quickly sends emergency alerts to the public of a suspected abduction of children, and it is believed that their life is in imminent danger. Tragically, they found Riya's lifeless body inside. Paramedics were called, but it was too late as Riya was already gone. Riya's mother, surrounded by grieving family members, clung to hope, thinking Riya might just be upset and safe with her father. But deep down, she knew something had gone terribly wrong. A short while later, the police led Riya's mother to another room where they delivered the horrifying news. The lifeless body found was Riya's, lying in her father's home. It would be another 2 agonizing days before she learned the chilling truth that Riya had succumbed to gunshot wounds to her head. The devastating reality filled her heart with sorrow, knowing that she couldn't protect her beloved daughter from the harrowing fate. The Amber Alert led the police to Riya's father as he was tracked down and found injured in Oro-Medonte in Ontario, approximately 130 kilometers away from his home. The gravity of the situation prompted the involvement of a special investigation unit. Initially charged with first-degree murder, shocking news emerged a week later that Riya's father had died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Michael Pulley, the acting inspector of the Peel Regional Police Homicide Unit during the investigation, revealed to global news outlets that a coroner's inquest was expected to be called into the case, given that the accused died while in police custody. Riya's mother was haunted by regret that she couldn't shield Riya from her father's grasp, even though she had endured years of verbal and physical abuse herself. In the days that followed Riya Rajkumar's death, the community of Peel Region came together to honor the 11-year-old's life. A candlelight vigil was held for her on February 19 in 2019, and hundreds of teddy bears and balloons were placed at a memorial outside the Brampton home. A year later, the clock tower in Brampton was lit purple to honor the memory of Riya Rajkumar. The color purple commonly represents domestic violence awareness. In the wake of heartbreak, let us remember Riya as a social, caring, and joyful child who touched many lives with her laughter and contagious smile. She loved helping people and spending time with her friends. Her memory inspires us to stand against domestic abuse and also to cherish our loved ones and create a world filled with compassion and love. May her light forever shine in our hearts, reminding us of the preciousness of every moment we share with those we hold dear. If you found the video compelling, drop a like and subscribe.